Well, thank you guys. I am so excited to be here with you today, and I want to talk about something that I am trying to redefine for myself. So I think I'm a feminist, and most of you in this room will appreciate that, but this is relatively new to me. I mean, I didn't grow up that way. I thought it was marching. I thought it was burning bras. I thought it was being angry. And, I grew up in my bubble and I thought things were basically fair. That was until the US presidential election in 2016. Until then, I had never heard the word patriarchy. Seriously, I had to look it up. And once I understood what it was, I could not unsee it. It was obviously in politics, it was in culture, it was in leadership, it was in my former marriage, but that is another story. Most of all, I saw it in money. And that is when I realized it wasn't just shaping what women could do. It was shaping what we believed we deserved. Because patriarchy, it doesn't just limit women externally. It trains us internally. It teaches us to shrink, to save, to settle for scraps. And it teaches us to really fear power and to normalize financial dependence. And so, contrary to what we've been told, women don't lack discipline when it comes to money. We were just raised inside a financial system that was designed to keep us dependent. So that is not a mindset issue, that is conditioning. So while women are being taught to save money, men are being taught to multiply it. And women, we're told to budget. Men are told to build equity. And we're told to cut back. They're told to scale up. We're told to be smart about our money. And they are told to use their power and use their money to build that power. Okay, so we're not failing at money. We're just following the instructions. Now, don't get me wrong. We have come a long way. Women are earning more degrees than men. We are starting businesses faster. And we control 1/3 of the world's wealth, $70 trillion to be exact. But equity and ownership tell a very different story, okay? I'm gonna read this. Women make up 13% of founders, but own just 6% of founder equity. Now that means that female founders hold 39 cents for every dollar of equity that male founders hold. Now among employees with equity, women hold only 20% of it, so that is about 47 cents on the dollar compared to men. So yes, women are earning, we are building, we are generating wealth. But the structures that turn wealth into generational power, those are still overwhelmingly controlled by men. That is equity, that is ownership, that is capital. And nowhere is this more obvious than the financial advice that women get. We have been told for decades that the secret to financial freedom is cutting back. So let's say, skip that daily latte. You don't need another pair of shoes. Don't take that trip. Don't want too much. Okay, meanwhile, men are being taught to raise capital, acquire assets, leverage credit, build these companies. So I want to offer a new philosophy. Keep the latte, just build another revenue stream. Okay, the problem was never the $5 coffee or 7 or 10 or whatever it is now. The problem was being told to shrink our lives instead of build our wealth. Okay, women don't need smaller expenses. We need bigger ownership because true financial freedom has never come from cutting back. It has always come from building up, and this is the shift. We're not going from broke to wealthy. We're going from permission to power, because the next era of women's empowerment, it's not about just earning more. It is about owning the structure that money moves through. That is where freedom lives. And that is where we as women stop adapting to the economy and we start building a new one. So here's why this moment matters. Our generation is the first in history with both the legal and financial capacity to actually build a system that we can benefit from. Okay, that makes this not just personal, but this is historic. But I want to be real with you. This isn't just about us. Okay, I think about this time a few years ago. I'm in my parents' living room with my niece. She's probably 8 years old. And I hear my mom tell her, honey, you better marry a rich man someday. Oh, and you want to talk about feminist rage. But I know that sentence didn't just come from her. It came from every woman before her who was told the same thing. That safety comes from attachment, that we have to rely on someone else for money, that dependence is normal. And I made a decision that day. She will not inherit that story, okay? Because the system that I am building, and hopefully the system that you are building with me, is not one where girls are taught to wait for money. It is one where they are taught how to own it, where they don't have to shrink to be supported, where they don't have to choose between being loved and being powerful, where they don't have to marry for money because they are the wealth creators. They are the owners. And that is what this is really about. It is not changing how women earn, but changing what women expect. It is changing what we teach. And it's changing what gets normalized in this next generation. Because we're not just building wealth for ourselves, we're building an entirely new financial inheritance, one that is built on ownership and not obedience. And it's one built on women who don't wait to be chosen because they are too busy building. So no, we are not asking to be included. We are creating the system that the next generation will live in. And so the question now is very simple. Will they inherit the world we were given or the one that we were brave enough to build? Thank you.